Ulrich Bruckner, who's a professor of European Studies at Stanford University in Berlin. He joins me live from the German capital. I can't get past the word scrambling. Several meetings, different places, and what I keep hearing is we don't want to get into a trade war. We stand with Greenland, we don't want a trade war. But if these European countries, allies of the United States, want to stop Donald Trump from bullying them, don't they have to have some kind of counter threat?
Absolutely. And as we learned from game theory and watching mafia movies, if you give in, then it's not the end of the story, but it causes an appetite for more. So during a whole year since it was brought up as another absurdity from the White House, it's becoming much more serious, and the Europeans tried everything they can to de-escalate whatever absurd claims came from Donald Trump. And now is the point to say, as Paul said before, enough is enough, you went too far. But this is a message that we got from the Americans almost a year ago at the Munich Security Conference. And ever since, everyone who considers NATO a collective security organization is questioning whether it's as brain dead as Emmanuel Macron said a few years ago, or whether it's actually a collective security architecture that defends an attack on one of them and everyone would step in.
Ulrich, it really just feels, listening to several European leaders, like this is a matter of principle, because it's like if we don't stop him now, you know, who will be next? So would they dare to use this EU trade mechanism of counter tariffs? And if they dared to do that, would it not then escalate things into a spiraling trade war as we've seen Donald Trump do before?
Of course, it would come with major consequences for both sides. We have seen this already in the immediately decided decoupling with trade relations with Russia, which is far, far smaller than the transatlantic relations that are gigantic, both in trade and service exchange, but also with foreign direct investment. So the reason why they now play with different scenarios in countermeasures is that this is the language Donald Trump hears and understands. And if they would just give in, he would come out with another absurd question. I'm personally surprised that it just comes out as I need it, and the Danes are not capable in defending the part of the Danish island. I expected this to be a bargain chip in the security guarantees for Ukraine, because then the Europeans have all the reasons to think about how can we pay the United States to provide security. But no, it comes as a blunt form of executing power and blackmailing the Europeans. And this is the language that unites Europeans, as we saw in Brexit, more than any other form of internal attempts to find a common denominator.
Ulrich, is Trump being dishonest about why he wants Greenland? He says it's about security, stopping China taking it, Russia, why it's better for the US to take it, but that's open for debate. Is it about security, or is it really about all the vast wealth there, minerals, oil, gas resources, and potentially shipping lanes opening up in the Arctic?
Of course, security is nothing but a smokescreen. There is an agreement between Denmark and the NATO member United States that whatever the United States can do to help to securitize the region as NATO territory is warmly welcome. There were so many more bases in which the United States made sure that this is NATO territory during the Cold War, that everyone would be happy if the United States engages in providing security for NATO territory. But what it's actually for is, can we exploit a giant, like one of the largest islands in the world with so many raw materials and opportunities, not only to make the United States rich, but of course also Trump and his buddies in this form of nepotism. This must be strongly rejected, and I expect a response from the European summit on Thursday.
Or we really could go on forever, but let's wrap it up for now, and we'll wait to see what these EU officials say, and then we'll probably be able to discuss this in detail further down the line. Appreciate it. Ulrich Bruckner, Professor of European Studies at Stanford University in Berlin.